Hello. Great to be here. My name is Leonhard Kuehne-Hellmessen. I work at Accilium, a boutique consultancy with focus on mobility and digitalization. Our vision is to bring together the major players in the mobility ecosystem and shape the future of the mobility. I'm from Berlin, which is, such as Ljubljana, one of the great startup and mobility hubs in Europe, I guess. And thanks, Daniel, and your team for the opportunity and having me and my guests at our summit. For today's panel, the mobility race is on. Innovation is a new fuel. I'm delighted that I have with me today Vlado Koljibabic, Head of Cloud Mobility at Marcedes Benz. Hello, welcome. And Zoran Miloševič, the Chief Innovation and Digital Officer from the Slovenian insurance company Triglav. I also I also like to welcome our audience to this roundtable and invite all of you to ask questions and engage in our discussion in the chat function. The intersection of technology innovations such as electrification, connectivity, and automation with business model innovations such as shared mobility and seamless multimodality are fundamentally changing the way we move people and goods. This has created a massive opportunity for many companies. And in today's roundtable, we would like to learn how established companies like Triglav and Daimler, with over 100 years of existence, still stay innovative, especially in the fast-paced mobility space. I would like to explore how different game-changing businesses and technology trends are shaping the future of mobility, which already leads to my first question. Zoran, how is an incumbent like Triglav working with startups, talents, accelerating innovation internally?
Yeah, it's nice to be in such an important company. So hi. As a 120 years old incumbent, we have, of course, adapt our strategy. Our mission or our vision is not just to accelerate innovation, but also, most importantly, how to transform the core, how to be as simple as possible, to have easy customer experiences and to be word of trust. There are two segments. One is core, and another one is innovation. So we have adapted our new digital appearance. We are now on a new level, mobile responsive design level. So our digital solutions are completely mobile friendly now, and we are also focused on digital onboarding of our customers, but not only with the help of digital tools, but also with the help of our agents. So we are really focused on omni-channel. This was really important also for doing business in exceptional situations like Corona epidemic. But in the field of agile cooperative contributor, let's talk about innovation now. We are not only we not only have developed our internal innovation framework for boost internal innovation, but we are proactively involved with startups to leverage technology adoption or test pilots a new business model. For the first one, the technology adoption, we have our telematic app Drive. My colleague described this application more detailedly before this roundtable. So I will go more deeply into it, but We started collaboration also with Nurtec for driving simulator. We are looking for perspective new business models. So we started collaboration with Giro Car Share for peer-to-peer car sharing, and also micromobility with Eskiro scooters. So to wrap up this question, investing in individual innovation can take place in two different ways. So with, let's say, dedicated funds, where we test the operation of innovation in our environment with a combination of our own development, but also with the help of an external partner. And we are entering into various forms of partnerships. So it could be acquisition, it could be convertible loan, it could be ownership shares. But the purpose is the financial support of an external partner for testing and subsequent exclusive use of the product service. So we are present on many of the, let's say, innovation fields.
Well, thank you for this interesting insight and also point of view. You have definitely a wide portfolio and wide network of partnerships there, also in the mobility space. I will come back to this in more detail in a moment. We have with us also Mr. Vlado Koljibabic, Vlado from Marcedes Benz, who's currently working at the next big thing at this company, Cloud Mobility, a cloud solution for the mobility sector, especially interesting for cities and public transportation companies, but also, as you mentioned in the video before, software developer and data specialist. Vlado, how is an OEM like Daimler working with startups, talents, and accelerating innovation internally? And how do you apply these innovation drivers in your current project?
So thanks also for this question, and also happy to have the opportunity speaking in this round. I mean, just quick also before I come to your direct question, I mean, a company like Daimler, now over 130 years in the market, somehow already also showed, like Triglav, like Zoran also explained, that there are mechanisms in place to survive down the road and to also keep with challenges that came around the corner also in the past quite well. So, but what is now different, and why we bring the startup context so heavily also into our thoughts is, I mean, there's this small thing that started to develop 40 years ago, where software becomes more an engineering factor. And of course, we are a heavy engineering company, but in the physical world. So how to make this piece better fitting to the demands of our customers and also better fitting to the demands of our products, to get a better market fit. This is one of the biggest challenges in that area. And what also is not surprising, the speed, how startup in the software area are driving things forward is something that's also, we need to take a serious look into that and to find then the way of adapting it into our context. So this is opening. And what's going on Daimler side, I mean, company, 300,000 people, you can also imagine that there are many things ongoing in that area. And first of all, what I also recognized in the speech with the Boeing colleagues before, there's also a super professional M&A area for tech investments. First of all, organizationally established. I mean, these are the guys that are doing really the tough things, when you need to close a deal, when you need to define a term sheet and to agree to details and to derive then a contract out of that, and in partnership, this has also to come to an end, and they are really, really great connected in the world and in the ecosystems, and also observing quite carefully the current developments there. And what we are doing then also on the cultural side is that we are just involving people in the company much closer to these endeavors, because finalizing a deal in a tech environment is something when you already learned that something is bringing value to your own strength in that area. And the way how these things are going to evolve, Daimler developed for itself a concept that we call, for example, startup autobahn, coming directly from the valley, that we deployed over the globe in Singapore, in Germany, as one example, where we bring startups very close to our divisional experts, so that they also see and observe and get an impression about what's going on to adapt this idea as good as they can. They use 100 days approaches, mean startup and business guys are working for 100 days quite closely together and trying then to derive the right portion of value for both sides in that game. Another example, and I saw also in the participant list, we established for our marketing and sales division for Mercedes Benz cars a specific program that we call the Builders, yeah, with friends in Israel and Tel Aviv, especially in that case, where we also observing in quite consistent process the market on site, discussing very closely with the startups, try to understand what kind of value they try to create for themselves and how we can, of course, help them and participating in their roadmap and in their journey in that way. So you see, there are different mechanisms and angles how you can attack that, yeah. And it's always a piece where you learn every day a little bit more. And this is, of course, also part of the process that you need to put these learnings back into the game to get even more traction and even more out of the game for all involved there. Yeah, it's not just a Daimler game or Mercedes game. It's also making the partner successful in that area, and that's bringing then both strengths together.
Well, thank you for your answer. Coming back to the cloud mobility, no one would expect an OEM to develop a cloud solution. I think, yeah. What are the drivers for this, and what changes can we expect in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, I mean, also a good question because it's super broad. Yeah, you can answer it from many angles. Let me start with something really obvious, where I think also the people in this round are quite close to that. So what everybody recognized is, I mean, data seems to be something important. Yeah, and what is becoming heavier is getting something valuable out of it. Yeah, so we are putting a lot of efforts as incumbents in this game, yeah, into it, yeah, and as many others that we're observing are also putting a lot of efforts, yeah. But getting really close to this game is also needing a lot of technology, yeah. And if you then just do the next step is, I mean, technology is still built by people, and the question is then how to get in touch and these people on board that are able to build the technology that is needed to get the right value out of data. And this is, I mean, the first, when the board gave us the first time to check the first hypothesis, yeah, and we really build it up as an venture in that game. The first hypothesis was just, are we capable to get the right people on board to start such a journey? Because if you don't get it, I mean, you can, write a lot of concepts and PowerPoints and stuff like that, yeah, but you will never make it in that game, yeah. So I think we proved quite well that this is possible, that you can get this talent on board to start heading for such a vision. And basically, if you look into the business contexts, and it was also already said by the colleague that talked before from the Silicon Valley, I mean, data is something that will really just continue to explode. Yeah, and also Daniel said, I mean, currently 100 million vehicles per year in the context. If you just put now in this context autonomous driving in, then you can imagine what this would mean for data. Yeah, and here the basic ideas: products are still not ready, so the services are still not ready. The underlying technologies are still not ready and in place, and you should better start taking care to push that forward. Not just for yourself, but also for the offerings for your customers. And this is one of the main drivers why we think let's become prepared in that area, and it will become anyhow tough game from now on.
Definitely, that's definitely a huge challenge, especially to compete against players like, let's say Microsoft or AWS. But
and maybe if I'm just
yes.
quick also add, so I mean, it's even not really competing with them, to be honest, yeah, because this is something where we also say, hey, it's a different market segment, and it was also already told before. This is why we also call it special purpose. It's a specific niche in mobility and transportation that we're recognizing. And also, as you said, yeah, cities like Berlin or Ljubljana is doing that now in a very obvious way. There will be also rules and legislations around that, where you just need to think about where just to put your data in. Yeah, and if then your only answer is let's do it already with the existing one, and then maybe just not fitting to your legal frame where you are operating in, then you maybe already will suffer first first challenges in that way, and we just try to start filling this gap maybe that is here existing. So it's not about challenge, it's more or less searching for the opportunity that's occurring.
That's yeah, business model innovation is a constant in today's economy, and if you have a vision and suddenly there can be a new angle, yeah, as well. Zoran, we heard about a few of your innovations at Triglav in the coffee break session already. What impact on your traditional insurance products do new applications like you mentioned Triglav Drive and new platforms such as the motion simulator have?
Yeah, I mean, these applications certainly made us look younger as a company. That's one thing. That's not so unimportant, because you have to address younger segment, and this is really important channel for us. But seriously, a lower claim frequency and lower average claim in segment of telematics, that brings us space for lower premium. So there is also economic logic behind it. But nevertheless, if we saved just one life because of our new application or solution, it should be a good reason to continue with the good work, I would say so. Another lesson learned is also, I read this on your webpage, Leo, that nothing is built to last unless it's built to evolve. So we are evolving our Drive ecosystem together with our new partnership with Sygic. Sygic is one of the global leaders in navigation and location-based services. So these are expertise that we don't have, and we are seeking and looking for partnership to bring solution, completely new solution, completely new ideas maybe in our future. Because it's been 5 years now since we launched the Drive application. This was first telematic application in Slovenia. The number of users is still rising, so approximately 2,000 per year, per month. Just for information, we have recorded more than 500 million kilometers. This was safe kilometers with good score. So every day we record 26,000 trips. For a small country like Slovenia, this is not a small thing. So our aim is to expand the Drive application from pure telematics to a really true ecosystem platform for mobility services. We will add additionally, ride sharing, car sharing. Most likely for our internal customers first, but then we will see. There are also many other ideas also how to connect with traffic signals like green wave solutions. This is a really important part of our partnership with Sygic. So how to smart navigate in case of traffic jam or accident. We will seek for parking space solutions and partnerships also with parking space sharing, etc. So yeah, it's important. Lesson learned is also that you have to put effort all the time. So if the energy is not 100%, then you will lose customer, you will lose score, and it's really a lot of effort needed to be successful with alternative solution, I would say so.
Yeah, sounds also quite interesting, and also like Vlado mentioned, all about data. How are your plans as insurance company? Are you becoming maybe a data-driven company in this process?
I mean, of course, the right data on the right time is very important for practically all of our decision-making processes in the company. We have a special BI department, and we are working very hard on that part also. But not only to have agile and prompt, let's say, business reports But we are working also on how to monetize the data that we already have and how to learn from this data in a way to offer this value of data to our customers, to give the value back to the customer. But to be honest, you have to be realistic about the market you're doing business in. What is your customer base, average age of customer? So to be really honest, the customers are still very price sensitive, very cost oriented, not so much in what data could bring to the customer. But if you develop a solution, for instance, not drive related, but for instance, we developed our own video remote assessment tool, which is a web application allowing you to view objects live through customers' smartphone. So in a Corona situation, in a Corona lockdown, it's really important tool to have to do business continuously. And we will add to this development of remote assessment tool. We will continue development in a direction of AI for automatic damage assessment. We have a lot of data, of course. We are an insurance company. We have a lot of pictures of damaged vehicles. So we are now trying to build solutions also together with partnerships like Azure and Microsoft, etc., and to use our own data in this process. So I would say that we are becoming a data-driven company, as you asked, but we are making a bet, so to speak, on a partnerships, on a cooperation with companies that are complementary to our business, because I personally believe that there are still a lot of unknown possibilities and scenarios, and we don't really know how things will evolve. And I think that mobility future does not only depend on one player. We will see a lot of action on IoT, connected cars, GPS. Especially IoT with 5G brings us a lot of opportunities and also some questions to solve. There must be, of course, regulation for additional implementation of practically every solution, and we have to, in a way, step together, and certain problems should be solved together. Otherwise, I don't believe it will. It will be chaotic. Too many applications, too many solutions doesn't bring the best value to customers, by my opinion. But we'll see.
That is definitely a good point, that partnerships bring us further together. Coming to my second guest again, and to my last, and I think also important question, not also for my guest Vlado, but also for the guests and viewers within our audience. Vlado, how can cities or public transportation authorities or other stakeholders approach Mercedes Benz Cloud Mobility to partner?
To partner, yeah. Well, this is an excellent question, because we're also considering that. So from a partnership point of view, but the easiest way before you immediately think about how to partner is I invite people also in that round, and also the city of Ljubljana, and in that case, just to start searching out how the product is, yeah, and what benefits we can offer in such a context. Because if you get an impression about the product and the team that is building that, then a partnership is becoming more obvious and could be derived further in that case, yeah. So as also these big Silicon Valley investors are doing, yeah, let's get an impression about the product. Product is reachable in the internet, about cloudmobility.io. Yeah, there we are explaining a lot of things, but if you have software developers in your area, they can immediately start to attack it and to use it. That's the easiest way. So this is what software driven means. And then I'm happy to get in touch with the listeners here, and then we can try to dig deeper and try to figure out what a partnership would mean there. I'm happy to, and really looking forward.
Great, thank you. I have to look at the time. I think we are almost done. There is, yeah, I think we are done with the session. I really want to thank you both for joining me today in the panel. And I really looking forward to hearing from both from your companies and the future developments you will, yeah, reach. Thank you. Have a great day.
Leo, nice meeting you.
Ciao, Zoran.
Ciao.